You know what? Since I broke out the old Rider-Waite today, I've decided to try something just a little different, and I hope you'll indulge me. Because while I'm doing this, I have a little bit of a story to tell you. You see, Fridays are full-scale Fridays, and I love those days because it symbolizes the end of the week, and oh my goodness, how we all love the weekend. But you see, I had a little bit of an issue, and that issue was that I'd gotten to work, and I have a small sort of cubby hole of a locker, and the way it operates is there's a little combination dial, and you kind of spin it a couple times, and then go to that first number. You spin it a couple more, you spin it another time in another direction, go to the last number, and then you just twist it, and it opens up like a doorknob. I like that. That's pretty cool. But when I got in, it worked just fine. And this is a locker I've had for a couple of years. We had to. This isn't my original locker. This is the second locker I've had. It's only because the little combo dial. Oh, I'm not supposed to lay those down just yet. We'll lay those down later. Okay. But the combo dial had broken on the first one, and we had to use a key to get in. Well, we didn't have the key. Nobody knew where the key was, and so we had to bash the thing off with a hammer. I'm not kidding you. It was pretty spectacular. The thing got stuck. It worked when I came in, it worked when I went on break, and it wouldn't work when I was leaving, which meant all my stuff was in there. My keys, everything. Yep, your old pal Raven has the same problems as everyone else. But anyway, yeah, we had to bash the thing off with a hammer. We had the little tumbler, the part that the key goes into to open the thing, and I had used that to kind of open the thing up and get my stuff out. I put a shirt in there and like a thermal mug or something. And I said, just whatever you guys do, make sure this locker does not get shut. Put a sticky note or something on the door. Because we put the little tumbler into the locker itself. I really wish they hadn't, because when I got to work yesterday, my day started off with a shut locker. Fun times, difficult day. Alright, so let's get down to it. So, yes, I'm doing the ancient 10 card spread here, rather than just not. Well, wow. Present situation is, of course, Three of Swords. Nobody ever wants to see this card. And I'll tell you exactly why, because this is what's breaking your heart right now. This is what's killing you. This is what's eating you alive. And the immediate influence of that is this Empress, or a lack thereof. And the Empress is known for very nurturing energy. So, my question is, are you having the Empress comforting you at the moment? Is it upsetting that there's someone in your life that's sort of like that mothering figure? And maybe there's a sort of rule over you that you'd rather not have? Well, I can tell you this much. The Empress is good to have around. Normally the Empress is good for what is currently ailing you. So let's see what the goal is. Okay. Goal is a Three of Wands. to have that, if we're looking at the Three of Wands, have you noticed he's using one of them for support, right? And this is very collaborative effort. And right now, what you're looking at is having that collaborative effort to where you can see the possibilities for miles and miles. Again, you still need that Empress. So what's going on in your distant past here? Honestly, this is one I really don't expect to see much as the Lovers. This is also that sort of soulmate energy. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. This is not the soulmate that you necessarily marry. This is not necessarily a romantic involvement, but it very well could be. As a matter of fact, what I'm seeing right now, sort of that lack of family kind of situation, kind of driving you a little nuts. And these recent past events, let down by this new adventure that you were on. But here's the problem. Look at these cards so far. What do they represent? Having support, not going it alone. And look at this guy. He's got a dog nipping at his heels telling him the cliff's coming, but he's just kind of got his nose in the air. Oh, everything will work out. But it doesn't seem to have worked out, or at least it's not working out as of yet. You got a future influence coming up, and it is Queen of Pentacles. So this is someone a lot more grounded. Someone grounded in their approach. Still very nurturing energy, but also very opulent. Very extravagant. Remember, the Queen loves her jewels, she loves her gold, she loves that flash. Alright, so we currently have you here. What's going on around you? Those inner emotions. And then the final result. So this is the High Priestess here. She's kind of a do your own thing kind of a gal. Look for your own answers. And that much is what's going on with you right now. Looking for your own answers, seeking, kind of doing your own thing. Not really having a whole lot of regard for the path that's normally taken. And believe me, I can relate, I can associate with it. But what your influence on other people is a tendency to move on. See, with the Eight of Cups, there's not really a completion here. That tends to happen with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups symbolizes more of a completion. This is just a moving on. But you're leaving something a little unfinished here. And that's the influence that you're currently having over others. Likewise, you've seen other people just kind of come in, do something, and then move on. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's an absolutely wonderful and great thing to just move on. When you've done all you can, when you can do nothing else. Sometimes when you can just do nothing, it's for someone else or a group of people. Just in those times, it's best to move on. But it's important to know when you should move on. You shouldn't be overexerting yourself into any kind of direction. You really shouldn't be underperforming either. You know. And let me tell you a little something here. Like I can relate to both of these cards, because this particular card, I tend to start things and never finish them. Like I have a tendency to, take off like a rocket, and then, I may be far from the finish line before I'm like, well, I'm out. That can happen with me. That happens with most Libras, believe it or not. So, your inner emotions. Are you feeling a little defensive these days? Because that's the inner emotions that are exhibited with the Seven of Wands here, is that that defensive position that you're going to take. Always kind of ready to head trouble off at the pass. And the fact is, you may be overcorrecting. Before I reveal that last card, let me tell you a little something. Something that occurred to me while I was just having my shower a while ago, just to kind of get started with my day. And I realized that there are two groups of people that, on social media, that are constantly just doing this and not enough of this. On one hand, on Cloud Hub, I have the extreme pitchforks and torches crowd. That's what I call them. That's the live action role playing game they love to play. Pitchforks and torches. Oh, we see someone different in our midst. Let's go hound them until they're not that way anymore. Let's go win a convert. And then on the other hand, you have what I call the woke scolds. The ones who aren't content with just leaving you alone to do your own thing. If you want to enjoy something in your own way, that is not permissible. And what do they all have in common? Sure, the circus is different, but they still employ clowns. They make ridiculous arguments. They have even more ridiculous defenses. And it can cause people like myself, people like maybe even you, to completely overcorrect the moment you think that they're about to beset themselves upon you and try something with you. Am I right? As much as you want to give the facts of your situation, as much as you want to be grounded in reality, as much as you want everyone to kind of feel the same way you feel, to experience those, and I say that in as much as experiencing those joys of life, to really kind of wrap yourself in them and, pursue your own happiness. The fact of the matter is, I think you've been denying yourself a lot of company and a lot of advice because you've overcorrected. Because you see it coming from one or both of these extremes, and it can really hinder you at times. So, final outcome here. Wheel of Fortune. Well, thank goodness for some good news here. Because the culmination of all of these events and these influences is that you will eventually experience a reversal of all the bad luck you've had. But just remember, it's you that is responsible for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's hard. I know for some it's hard not to see a Bellamy saluting, brown shirted, Charlie Chaplin mustachioed being behind every blade of grass, goose stepping their way out only to be like, yikes, and run back behind that blade of grass. I know it's hard to see, I know it's hard not to see the church lady every time you turn around in the mirror right behind you going, could that be, say, I know that's difficult. But today's not a day for it. And it's time that we collaborated with each other to find those shared joys, to get away from that which is killing us, to nurture those ideas, to get together and just agree on the subject matter at hand. You stand on common ground, start building. It's fine for people to kind of do their own thing. It's fine to walk away from a project that's not really, bringing back the investment. It is okay to rationally defend that which you love the most, but it's important not to overcorrect. Because once you've gone to one extreme or the other, the goal is forever lost. You will eventually throw the baby out with the bathwater. But if you can stop doing that, all the terrible stress that you're under right now will begin to evaporate. Much like the water in this cup here. It's been evaporating. The steam that rises off of it. It's just important not to let too much of it evaporate, right? You don't want to overheat it. You certainly don't want to heat it the wrong way. But that is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging with me while I attempted to do something a little different today on Straight Tarot Tuesday. I love you all. Hope to see you again tomorrow for Runecasting Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, mentally, physically, emotionally, and each other. Always do what lights you up. And as always, my friends, shine on.